North Texas just got amazing news. It's a bright future for those of us here in North Texas, and we're going to cover it right here. This is the February 17th, 2025 advance report for McGowanGroup clients and NetWorthRadio.com listeners. Texas Stock Exchange, they threw down the gauntlet last year. James Lee, the CEO, said, we got BlackRock, Citadel, Fortress, and others putting in $120 million. Turns out it's $161 million. That was recent news. And they filed to start trading at the beginning of 2026, a fully electronic stock exchange based here in Texas. Why would they do that? 5,200 private equity companies here in Texas. A lot of those companies would like to go public. That's going to create some North Texas millionaires in the years ahead. They're going to streamline that process on an exchange with more business-friendly rules, and the Texas business courts were formed. That attracted Elon Musk and Tesla and SpaceX and even Facebook to say, we want to go to Texas, reincorporate in Texas. Wow, that's a bright future. They're based over in the Weir's building for now, and they're building a headquarters, and they'll start trading at the beginning of 2026. Now, what did the New York Stock Exchange say? Whoa! New York Stock Exchange says they're coming after our business, and we like Texas companies. There's $3.7 trillion of value for Texas companies on the New York Stock Exchange. What are they going to do about it? Well, they're going to move New York Stock Exchange Chicago to Dallas, and this was this week's announcement. They said, we're going to have a fully electronic exchange too. Well, that says you got two competing exchanges. What does that do in North Texas? Did you know that Dallas is the #2 financial services hub in the country overall right now for financial services jobs? Those are good paying jobs. I've got one of them and I like my job. By the way, I'm Spencer McGowan, your financial weatherman, president, McGowanGroup Wealth Management, a team of 10 serving affluent families right here from the Crescent in Dallas. Would love to hear from you and update your plan. If you're a YouTube subscriber, if you're not a YouTube subscriber, we have special updates when there are turbulent activities in the market, and we're going to bring you that intelligence right here on YouTube McGowanGroup. New York Stock Exchange, they laid down that gauntlet. Now, if you recall, Schwab was the first big company to leave California. They went up to South Lake, did their galactic headquarters there. Fidelity has a regional headquarters here, and Goldman Sachs announced theirs. What's the impact on your home value? Well, I'll give you a triangulation. Goldman Sachs building a 5,000 person headquarters here in Uptown. When they did that, the partners started moving to Dallas, and a realtor told me they created a shortage of high-end homes in the Park Cities, Preston Hollow, and the northern hinterlands. Wow, this could be duplicated because traders like to be near the exchange. Why? It's all electronic. Milliseconds, that's why. You bring in more traders here to the Dallas area, and they tend to be more affluent, at least the good ones, right? And that's a bright future for North Texas. This is Texas population. I took 10 years, Texas population. Right now, 30.5 million people here in Texas. Well, it was 26.5 million. That is one of the best steady population growths in the country right now. Florida, obviously competitive, and other places that are free states. Well, North Texas is going to get some huge activity, and it's not just Dallas. Fort Worth, you take Texas Pacific Group, other private equity, you have Susquehanna here. A lot of those IPOs are going to help create a North Texas prosperity like we've never seen before. Get ready for some traffic. Your home values, commercial real estate values over the next 10 years are likely to outperform the rest of the country. So that's a little good news. Now this week we had some bad news. We had every reason for the stock market to go way down this week. What was the news? Oh, Consumer price inflation. Look at this. We could see there's the peak inflation. This is month by month, by the way. If you have 1.3% for the month and you annualize that, that's about 15% inflation if it had continued. It didn't. You got a little deflation the next month. But anyway, see this rising trend? That's called sticky inflation. And that hit the tape on Monday. It means the Fed's not going to cut rates anytime soon. They're going to wait and see if that number comes down. We'll see if deregulation and reduced government spending could actually help that. We're going to do a special YouTube on the specific changes in Washington and their likely impact for investors over the next 6 months. But one of those, deregulation, reduced government spending, could reduce the inflation by the second half of this year. Anyway, the other bad news that should have sent the Dow down to about here, I would think you would have lost a couple thousand points, because not only have we had tariff, well, Trump administration pops off again. Now everybody gets reciprocal tariffs. Reciprocal tariffs for everybody in the whole world. Well, normally you would think that that's going to cause more inflation and the market would go down because it's going to be a big old global recession trade war. That was the premise in 2018. Turned out not to be true. If you're a subscriber, you saw that episode where I broke down what actually happened in 2018, 19, and inflation stayed at about 2%, by the way, and the economy grew just fine. The Dow's just below 44,700 at the end of the week. That's a gain of about 5%, outperforming the S&P 500, a gain of 4.25% at the close of the week. So the equity markets were up 1 to 2% across the board for the week. They just shrugged it off. Here's one of the reasons. Earnings growth. For the S&P 500, we've got about 80% of those companies reporting, and it's 10.4% earnings growth compared to last year. So you probably have a stealth bear market. You might have a 10% correction because we're a little overvalued and it's been a long time of a good rally. You tend to get a 10% correction. McGowanGroup Wealth Management is ready. We've got our target list. We've got some tactical safety reserves, and we want to get some bargains if that happens. As the earnings grow to fill in the current valuations, some overvaluations are going to get crushed, and we'll do that in another episode. Wow, top 10, bottom 10 in the S&P for the week. This is a tradition here on YouTube, McGowan Group. Palantir, 58%. Supermicro, 53%. CVS, this shocked me, 47%. Facebook, 25%, Philip Morris, 25%, CrowdStrike, 31%, Uber, 32%. Uber really woke up this week. Constellation Energy, it's a big old utility rally anticipating AI, data centers, electricity demand, it's up 41%. Beware of the capital expenditures going into this AI data storage, data center revolution. Anyway, West Pharmaceuticals bringing the bottom, 36% down. Edison International, 35%. Constellation Brands down 26%. Ouch. Moderna down 21%. Nobody wants vaccines. PG&E Corp, the utility in California, basically bankrupted with bad policy. Again, they're down 22%. Decker Outdoors, down 23%. So that's a rundown on top 10, bottom 10. Gold, wow. Ahead of the tariffs, they're emptying out the London gold vaults, bringing them to the U.S. so they don't have to pay a tariff on the London gold that they want to sell here in the United States to people who listen to gold commercials. You're about $2,900 per troy ounce for the first time in history, actually $2,942 on the 11th. So that marks the high point for gold. You'll probably get some extra supply at that price. People will be taking their jewelry and cashing in their husband's medallion that he never wears and his bracelet that looks stupid anyway. All right, this is Plains All America, and that's a pipeline. Think AI data centers, lots of electricity use, natural gas, liquid natural gas exportation, it flows through pipes, and Plains All-American in that category. They're more of an oil, but it is notable they're the top performing pipeline this year, about 17%. Not a recommendation till you come down, get a plan from McGowanGroup Wealth Management, or you can set your time for a Zoom call. Go to networthradio.com. You can contact us there. We would love to help you update your plan with high cash flow investments. Thank you for tuning in today to Net Worth Media. We also have Apple Podcast. Simply type in Net Worth Radio and boom, it'll hit your phone right then. If you also go to networthradio.com on a browser, you're going to be able to meet the team. You can see our performance track record, the model portfolios that go with today's broadcast. Also at networthradio.com, the longer play podcast is available there as well. We're grateful that you've tuned in. Remember, when we talk about a security, it doesn't make it a recommendation for your portfolio until we actually complete a written plan for you by Zoom or in office or simply a conference call. So you reach us at networthradio.com if you want to get that arranged. Market fluctuations and how to handle them. We build high cash flow portfolios, and past performance doesn't guarantee future results, so you do have to be ready for challenging markets. We can build more cash flow during challenging markets than we can when everybody's happy and everything's up, which is when we tend to raise tactical safety. Those allocation strategies are here at networthradio.com. Thank you for tuning in.